There we go. There we go.
Okay.
How you doing?
I have my daughter chew me out, man, because it's my first Instagram interview, and I did this for Shanti Das.
Thank you so much.
Boy, I
I'm
tell you.
I'm very, very grateful. I really am. It's an
Well,
honor.
I like, my generation. I come from a time, man. I'd rather be heard than seen.
No doubt. That's fair.
Right now, people they listen through their eyes a little bit too much, and that's one of the downsides of social media. That's like, people think wellness is how you look and all that, and I'm just
Mhm.
like saying like. True, but when you listen with your eyes, there's so much to hear that you miss.
That's right.
And now in the digital age, be careful because, you know, believe like half of what you hear
Hmm.
and none of what you see, because in the digital age, it could evaporate and vanish just like that. What you thought you saw could
Hmm.
go. Even when it's
Hmm.
about reading facts, it's
Hmm.
very important to have like books as tangible. You hold in your hand, you can go back to it, it's frozen. It could even be a book about misinformation is all wrong, but at least you have it there.
Hmm.
Digital age, you start to question your own sanity, man, when it's coming at you like this. And what we've seen in this last, we've seen the official ushering in from citizens into netizens. And what that means is that when you have citizens transfer over into netizens, whatever you do in the cyber world,
Hmm.
you could pay a physical price for it. We're
Hmm.
leading to a thing of like you commit a crime in this created world,
Hmm.
your ass could go to real jail.
Wow.
So this is the final kickover. So believe half of what you hear and none of what you see,
All right.
because it's just the three-card monte played on people. But I'm not one of the conspiracy theory people. I'm not one of the people that talks negativity or whatever you want to call it. I try to be positive,
Absolutely.
and when I like to be heard rather than seen. That's why I don't do TV shows. Go there, go get your primmed up, get your makeup going, all that crap. It's like, what the, for real? So I'm from that. Maybe I'm the Bill Withers of this generation, man. I just try to keep it practical, plain, and delivered as it is.
Well, your message is certainly needed, and I
My message, a personal message.
listen. I know how you feel about that.
I
I'm
know
not putting you
we
up.
done did so many panels together, right?
I know we have. Listen, and I'm not putting you up on this pedestal, but you know the respect I have for you, right? And I'm grateful that you are doing an IG live for us, and that
Hmm.
you're willing to talk. I started doing these a couple weeks ago, really just for an opportunity for me to share. We've done a lot of hip hop panels together,
Yes,
but we
ma'am.
haven't talked as recently about my depression and things I've gone through from a
Yeah.
mental health perspective. First, I just wanted to know how you and your family are doing, with COVID and everything going on, just from a health perspective. How y'all hanging in there?
Everybody's good, but also I have an issue in New York, well, where I had uncle passing from COVID.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's crazy because the immediate family, is my father's brother, only brother.
Hmm.
So it's crazy because some members are outside of the city. They might be able to fly in. Family can't get close to each other.
Yeah.
People got to watch where they are. So now they have to rely on tech media to get together, which is that makes this the bizarro world.
Right. And it's tough to, properly, either mourn or celebrate the loss of a family member when we can't get together.
You got to take yourself in a spiritual mode real quick because it's
Yeah,
surreal. It's
that's right.
overwhelming. It's like when my father passed, 4 years ago, and it was different circumstances. It was just a passing, a
Right.
transitioning. But you take yourself into that other place so you can handle and deal with it.
Hmm.
But this situation is so surreal where people are dealing with their loved ones and couldn't even visit them on their last minutes, and they're dying on a machine. So
Hmm. Yeah, that's really tough. Again, my condolences go out to your family. As you know, the pandemic is hitting the African American community really hard due to numerous reasons, whether it's pre-existing health conditions. Also, it could be a lack of resources in our communities. I know there are a lot of hospitals that are in urban areas that aren't really getting the equipment that they need. What are your
And
thoughts on,
what else is new?
I hear you. That's right.
I
I just
mean,
want
it
you
was
to
like it's like
elaborate a
this
little
time
bit more on
you've
that.
had listen, you got people in situations, positions for a reason. They go to schools, they try to end up becoming nurses and doctors, and it got to a point in the United States of America, and I've been to so many countries around the world on the regular, spent half the time outside the country, is that
Hmm.
when a person here don't think they privileged and ain't been nowhere, you got to sometimes put, the appreciation on the things that are around you.
Hmm.
There's people out there busting their tail to do regular, what they call unglamorous work, get no shine for it, and they just go in and busting their tail every day, busting their tail to get to their job, busting their tail, ain't really getting paid well, they ain't got much time for sick leave, and this is people that got a job.
Hmm.
But this country had gotten to a point, so much to the point where it got so floss and gloss that people that do great things every day is just okay. Yeah, that's their job, but they're needed, man. Just
Yeah.
like in the West, fires all over the place. So you look at firemen and be like, yeah, I passed the firehouse. When they put that little envelope in your crib and say, well, we kind of want $30 donation, and you kind of lose it in the other mail, but go online and you know, get a jersey or some shoes or something. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you got a lot of people busting their ass on the regular, man, and have been overlooked for years.
Hmm.
You hurt. I mean, listen, man, whenever you're in danger or whatever, like even if you got a toothache, you want your dentist to be like making it well, at the end of the day. It's like, if
That's
you're not looking at your dentist as like, yeah, this dude here, he just, he ain't like a producer or he ain't on a TV show or he ain't got no reality show. No, you want your dentist to step up and make you feel good.
that's right.
So sometimes it's like us realigning ourselves with things that we might already have and try to remind people. I mean, if I had to say I had a gift that if I get a little down on whatever and I have to
Hmm.
think of what I have
Hmm.
had over the last 10 years, I know
Yeah.
this is small, but it's a point.
Okay.
Yo, man, when I got LASIK, man, some years ago, I couldn't believe it, man. Because I'm struggling with eyesight. You got contacts, you got this or whatever. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't see how this is going to get better. And then LASIK came around. And then, I didn't get it the first years that it came out. I mean, way down the line when it became, inexpensive, but
Hmm.
still, you find the right doctor. Because I wasn't messing around with your eyes. And so after like 15 years in, then I got it. And I couldn't believe it, man. So anytime I'm like, damn, and then I was like, that go back to that day where I got the LASIK. I was like, shh, I'm good. So sometimes you have to go into yourself for some appreciation of where,
Hmm.
like, and I just think that goes in a whole bunch of different situations, Shanti. Like somebody that's it's like, on this job that I always, approach younger people. Notice I didn't say young people, younger
Right.
people,
Yeah.
because younger people, sometimes when they say they're young, I address them with themselves. I'm saying, yeah, you younger than some, but you older than many.
Hmm. That's right.
So then young ain't no damn excuse.
That's right.
And old ain't no excuse either.
No doubt.
So let's throw the age thing on out. But I would tell them, I said, so you down on your job, man. You got 2 or 3 ways to go about it. You could leave your job, quit, I know you got to do it, whatever. But think about it when you got that job on the first day and
Hmm.
you came back home on that first day. How did
Hmm.
you feel? Yeah, I felt gooder than a mug. Yeah, I say, yeah, okay. So sometimes you got to just kind of go back to that first day. We know a whole lot, maybe some uckery that came through your job and all that, but you got to kind of realign yourself. And life is about realignment, man.
And
You know,
wellness is about realigning. So to
of
your
course,
point, putting yourself back in a happy place and a happy mood. And that kind of takes me to
it's a
my next
daily
question.
thing. It's a daily thing because you got everything coming at you. And with social media and digital media, what you're doing is that you have access to everything.
Yes.
So how can the human
24/7.
24/7, if you want it to be, because if you're going to access yourself to everything, then how are you going to handle the burden of everything?
It's
And
a
so
lot of pressure.
sometimes you got to look the other way. Like if it, I mean, there's some things that really are not your problem. But if you want to make it your problem, like sometimes if I got 10 friends and they all got problems. So then you're going to make it your problem. So 10 friends burden on your shoulders. How much can you handle? It's just like eating. You handle a little bit at a time. And you know, if you're on the plane and that plane got a problem, man, they say, you know what, get that mask and put it on your face first. So I don't think that anything that I would say would be anything out of the ordinary that old people tell you. You know, I said old. But they, you know, look, they there for us. My mom is 80, so she gonna talk to me. I gotta be ears.
That's right.
And because she'll tell me real simple. She said, yo, I mean, regardless what you eat, you all can take vegan root. You can take, you doing this, you're not doing dairy. You don't get your reds and your greens in. Oh, yeah, thanks, Mom. My dad was real good at stuff like that. Like, I'm worried about his existence. And he says, listen, man, you know, either, you know, no parent want to see their child pass away.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to be in the same accident. So you don't want that. So obviously I'm older. I'm going to go before you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn, he done truncated that down into, yeah, thanks, Dad. I mean, yeah. So a lot of basics, I think, are forsaken in today's world because they're not reiterated on the regular. So
Mm-hmm.
just like you got wellness shots.
Yeah.
You got to get wellness shots of inspiration.
Yes.
And wellness,
yes.
Yeah, wellness shots. You know, I mean, every time I try to go online, I only do Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be a service as opposed to going in criticizing. Because I could go and criticize. You can criticize all goddamn day long.
No doubt.
You know, oh, did I just touch my face? Well, I'm just here by myself, so it don't matter. Yeah, so yeah, wellness shots online are good, man. Like I go in and like I have rapstation.com, you know, since I'm on Instagram, right?
Right.
Go to rapstation.com. We have 10 station channels. We really get forensic and curated about hip hop and rap. If you love the music, or if you just love it as a pop fan and visit it once in a while. But we get to the detail. So I've serviced in 11 years, like over 10,000 artists on. Wow. So whenever I see an artist, whatever, I have a radio show called And You Don't Stop. It's been going on 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
I take pride in looking at an artist and breaking their record, no matter who it is, you know. So I'm uncle for more than one reason. But hip hop and rap music is what I do. That's my service area. And if somebody spends all year, 2 years to try to get the shine, they can't get with no record label, they ain't noticed by nobody and all that. It's for me to give them a wellness shot on their cultural attributes or their musicality. That's what I'm in. That's what I do, you know. So when people put me on the pedal, I'm like, I ain't no preacher. I ain't no politician either. I ain't your parent either. This is what I do. This is what you know me for. I mean, and people like put you in a box like, well, I love Fight the Power, dog, man. Like, yeah, because you saw it 10,000 times. I did the video, so I'm not. Don't put me in the Fight the Power box when I had a 35-year rock and roll Hall of Fame career. You got these gadgets, so they are computers. But I'm clear about telling people, I'm like, is your gadget a toy or is it a tool? Now, toys is where you want to get your enjoyment from, but there's a different type of thing. It's coming through at you as opposed to you and, you know, engaging yourself in it. So it's about managing your gadget or it will master you. These things are designed well beyond your capacities, and it's designed by scientists and teams to go well beyond of what you even think you have. So you got to hold on to yourself.
That's right.
And you have to also, it's key also in the digital age to build your offline life too.
Which all of that, to me, encompasses what it means to really take care of your health and wellness, especially your mental health. So I started this foundation, Silence the Shame, 3 years ago, and it focuses on erasing stigma. So particularly communities of color won't be embarrassed to, you know, seek help or to take care of yourself, whether that's practicing self-care, listening to wellness shots from people that inspire us. You know, can you give any thoughts around mental health in our community, or, you know, anything that you may want to speak of? Even like I know in the prison system, like our men are not getting the wellness support that they need.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to talk about regarding mental health in our community that might come to mind?
Where do we start? I mean, if you're in the prison industrial complex of the United States of America, you would understand just by the facts that there was 100,000 men in prison, black men in prison in 1970.
And women too. Somebody said
and women too.
Yes.
And women too, yeah.
Absolutely.
And then it's over 2 million now, and they go back up and down. And anybody that has any family member, which is easy for black people to know, that if you ain't been in it yourself, you have a family member.
Right.
Any letter brings them sunlight. Any communication to the outside brings them some kind of, light. And if that communication is good, it's going to actually make somebody persevere and get through that. So
that's right.
So your mental actually is your navigator for your physical, even if your physical is limited. But new sciences have come about. Like I said, this thing from citizens and the netizens, and especially if you have people ushered into the netizen world and they're not net literate. The net literacy is basically knowing how to navigate through a world that's been created that you're in. And really, without getting crazy on it, because I've been into this for more than 25 years, the science of cyberspace and the cyber world. They created cyberspace to pretty much have the ownership of the remaining real estate of your mind. So you talk about your mind.
That's so deep that you say that, because sometimes I feel like ads on Facebook and stuff, like I might type in one thing and the next minute I see an ad about what I just typed in. I'm like, how y'all know that?
Well, you're already paying mental rent to it.
That's crazy.
And when you pay mental rent, they end up mortgaging your whole real estate of your remaining mind. So that, regardless what people come up with, they could call it marketing. Right. They call it all kinds of things, or your whole, algorithms and biometrics and all that.
That's right.
It's the ushering into human beings and machines looking at each other eye to eye before you end up looking up at AI. And you start looking up at machines as being the superior being. And wow. But these things were already talked about at the end of the last century. And they're ushered in, not to convince people from the last century, like myself, born in 1960, but they know they're going to have born afters.
Yeah.
And born afters are going to be born after the year 2000, and they're going to grow up into this. And they're going to look at things different. They communicate different. Things come at them different. They're affected by different things that older people. And why older people don't matter, really? Because they're gone. When I first started, there was a whole demographic of human beings and also black folk that are no longer here, and will continue to disappear in the next 10 years. And then this crisis has knocked out a lot from the last century. You have new people coming in and old people disappear. This is why you have books. This is why you have documentation.
That's right.
And documentation is not this selective thing that I'm going to just select this thing because this is what I'm feeling and I'm not feeling this other thing. And documentation is documentation. A book is, a book is reading all the way through it, all the parts you don't feel like reading.
That's true.
And then you got to comprehend it. And if you don't comprehend it, you hold on to it. If any grid goes down, and this is, a matter of fact, this is a fantastic book.
Tell me what that is.
This is the Overground Railroad, Candace C. Taylor, and basically talking about, the Green Book and its roots in Black travel in America.
Oh, wow.
She signed it for me, too.
That's amazing.
And then also a book that I've written a thesis off of, written this album, but really the song called Food as a Machine Gun, something we released now off of this book by Kristen Lawless. It's like formerly known as Food, and how the industrial food system is changing our minds, body, and culture. And I gave her a blurb, and she gave me an interview years ago as a student at Santa Cruz and ended up writing this book. And her and her husband just sent it out to me, and I wrote the blurb, and I decided to write the song Food as a Machine Gun. about this thesis 30 years after the first thesis I had written, Fear of a Black Planet, off of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. By the way, somebody sent me a picture of me and Dr. Welsing from like 31 years ago outside the Mayfair mansions in D.C. And the Nation of Islam kind of turned that area from being projects into like this fantastic living area. And Dr. Welsing was there speaking then. And I wrote Fear of a Black Planet off of Dr. Welsing's color confrontation theory, and also Neely Fuller, Harry Allen helped in that, and also the ISIS papers. So a lot of times people are like, well, they following the songs and they kids, and 911 is a joke and brother's gonna work it out. But really what it is a dissertation made into a rap song. So we never made records that's supposed to just be there for the moment.
Yep.
People figure it out 30, 40 years later. So documentation ain't this thing that just for your convenience to go into and think you're going to end and stop there. It could go as far as you want to document, and then documentation, how you apply it to yourself to also protect yourself. And protecting yourself, your immune system is everything. Everything. Especially as an artist that travels the world. My immune system has to be everything. Number one, the thing that affects you the most when you travel the world on a regular is time zones.
I can attest to that.
If your 6 becomes 9, 9 becomes 6, and you go to Europe or Asia, what it is your clock is upside down. So if you used to not eating after 10, your 10 turns into 4. If you do that, man, your time zones and your eating habits and lack of sleep, and then you take these other intakes, like, people get their drink on, they get their smoke on and all that, and you combine all that, that's a cocktail for disaster. You'll be doing it, but you ain't gonna be doing it for a long time.
That will mess your mental and your physical up, both at the same time.
Right. So when I'm at 60, when I'm playing in front of, I don't even know if you could play in front of 100,000 people like I did last year. I fought the Prophets of Rage for 4 years and played in front of 4 million people over the last 4 years. And people like, I didn't know you was in that. And all I do is get a phone. I said, you didn't know I was in it because you use this as a toy and not a tool. Because you can find anything on the damn phone. It's a computer. But you got to realign people with what they already have. You don't have to look down and show your privilege versus their lack of privilege. I was like, you got a phone attached to them. And not only do you have a phone, you got it. You wanted it. See, the difference is people last century, right? That sounds crazy. They were like, F Big Brother. And if anybody knows about Big Brother, is how it was written in George Orwell's 1984, which is like ancient also when you talk to anybody. But the book 1984 talked about Big Brother, and you could go and read the book, y'all. You could get it online, whatever. But that was that century. Resistance for the computer, resistance for Big Brother, resistance for the feds watching your every move. But they have a new generation that has accepted that, embraced it, and want it. So that was developed over time. To put in enough candy to make you say that it's necessary. And then all of a sudden, you're addicted to the screen. So I did this with you, Shanti, because I said, usually I don't want to be in front of no screen. But my business says I have to be in front of some screen sometime. But it's always been of my choosing, and I'm from another time. So today, if I'm going to be in front of the screen, I'm going to actually initiate my Instagram screen time for Shanti Das.
You know that.
I got your book right up. Your book is right up there on my shelf. Your book is right up there on the shelf. I should get it and be right back. Hold on.
You should get it. Tell me how y'all feeling. Y'all enjoying this talk, man. I'm just so humble that my brother Chuck D.
I don't play around. Look at it. I showed the other books. I was so happy when I was in Atlanta, Jackson Hartsfield Airport. Y'all should know who Jackson was and who Hartsfield was. Anyway.
All right. Shout out to Maynard.
So yeah, I saw this. I was so happy inside the airport. You was rep. So I said, if I'm going to show the other two books, I'm like, there you go.
Thank you, Chuck.
That's what you call a wellness shot, right? A wellness shout out. Shanti does. I tell people, they're like, yo, man, you read all those books? I read every single line, but I don't keep books as wallpaper decorations. So your offline is very important. Your offline is about physical, tangible things that you can hold, embrace, like people, like things that you read that make you feel good. You got to hold on to that, because online, if it goes down, then it's going to affect it's going to mess up your emotional connection. Absolutely. Like if I went up to somebody, right, and I'm not being age centric on this, but if I pushed them with one hand and took their phone and crashed it against the wall, where do you think their pain is going to be? Their pain is going to be for that phone.
That's right.
I done pushed them.
Out because of that phone.
Yeah, I pushed them, but I crashed the phone on the other hand.
Right. They're going to be mentally stressed out because they ain't got that connection no more with that phone. They'll get through the pain with the shoulder. 20
years ago, I used to make the analogy like, okay, look, stop sucking the machines. Because let's say, well, I don't know nothing about cars. I drive a 2009 Acura, right? So I don't know nothing about cars, really. I know old school cars, but
yeah.
So, but I think it's what's the fly car for the minute, right?
Bentley.
Maybach or something like that, right?
Bentley.
So if you saw a person dying of cancer, homeless, on the street, and you saw a wrecking ball smash the Maybach, where you think the sensitivity is going to be?
The car.
Right.
Unfortunately,
that person's dying of AIDS or whatever, right there on the corner, asked you for $1.
That's right.
And then you saw a wrecking ball smash the Maybach. Cats is looking at the Maybach.
People overlook the homeless guy, but the car, they'll be like, oh.
Yeah. That is preordained. It's already designed.
Well, what you think about, like, with the pandemic right now? It's like it or not, and everybody's obviously not on the same playing field, but everybody got to stay at home right now. So it is normalizing it just a little bit, because certain people ain't got that power, even whether they got the Maybach or ain't got no car. You can't go nowhere right now because we're trying to save lives.
Yeah, I try to be practical. I think a revolutionary spirit, like I said, I'm not the person to say put down your gadgets. I got gadgets all over here. Mm-hmm. But use them as tools as much as toys. Our connectivity is possible. Our connectivity is everything. Don't have a phone just connect you to your people who live across town. The diaspora for Black people is essential for everything, even down to the medicine, to the point where somebody says, well, vitamin D will help build your immune system. Now, vitamin D is an afterthought. There's a vitamin D. This woman from India, a doctor, said there's already been a vitamin D deficiency pandemic that's gone on. Vitamin D is just not osteoporosis, but vitamin D, which you get from the sun or sunlight and stuff like that, vitamin D is something that kind of builds your cells and rejects a lot. But people get, maybe in the United States, probably a third of what they should be receiving in vitamin D. So I'm not sounding like the doctor for the minute, but your vitamin intake and all these, your immune system is everything. And your immune system, your mind, body, and your soul. Mm-hmm. So like you like people that eat all the right thing, but they got toxic thoughts. I'm like, you're still thinking toxic, dude. It's like,
word up.
You got to like eliminate toxins on all aspects of your mind, body, and soul, and that is your total immune system.
Yes, that's wellness. That's what we talk about on here.
Well, toxic people, and not say cut them off, but give them distance.
That's right.
Silence like silence is fasting.
That's right. I tell people, Chuck, no is a complete sentence.
I did a song called No. It's a complete song for me.
I love it.
You can look it up. They can look it up.
That's right. We're gonna Google that.
But a lot of this is simpler, but you need OGs to be simple for younger generations coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, also you need reality. Reality, I'll be turning 60. So what's the reality, Shanti Das? The reality is that you got less years ahead than you have behind you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a numerical fact, unless you end
Right.
up being Methuselah or some of these biblical figures that I don't know about. But
Those are facts.
you're there to deliver the facts to make the road easier for those growing up and growing into that. That's you want it better,
That's
and
right.
not just for like your family, but you want a society of younger people that kind of look out and help each other. And the diaspora, what I was trying to get at is to there's black folk. If you just want to keep it black folk or people of color, there's black folk all over the world that got a lot of things figured out. And if you want some cutoff, like, well, it's got to stop here at Philadelphia for me because this is where I'm at and I'm in the hood and, yo, I ain't thinking about this other everywhere else. I'm thinking, you're already in the center of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the center of the earth, connect to the rest of the earth. If you got a device that's
Right.
tracking you, the device is tracking you. What are you using this device to communicate to somebody that's somewhere else that looks and thinks just like you? But
Right.
you think once again, you might think that Cape Town is like, yo, Cape Town ain't like Philly. Yeah, because you ain't been there.
Right.
This is why the musicians and the athletes could at least be able to use their travels to be helpful.
Right.
I've been to 115 countries, not to go there and just get the food and be on stage. I paid attention to this as a young learned man to go to, when I'm going to travel to countries, I'm paying attention, but that's just who I am too. And when I go to countries, the first thing I notice when you're in customs is you notice the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And the walls are telling you, number one, disease, whether it's like you deal in the northern hemisphere and it's all WHO based, or you deal in the southern hemisphere. Like if people are like, yo, Chuck, what do you like best? I always love being in the southern hemisphere of the planet. Now, we know that we're in a lot of areas that are besieged. Sometimes, like they call, quote unquote, the second and third world. It's not Europe. It's not the upper Americas. I deal with South America, Africa, under the equator, and Australia, New Zealand, all those Fiji Islands and all that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt better because I felt that it came at you in a way that you could comprehend, and you saw a lot more of your people there.
That's right.
Regardless of whatever, the atrocities. But the atrocities are so far south, and we are so far up in the world. Like when you go down to South America, down there,
Mm-hmm.
they look at places like Mexico as way up north, those cultured up northern people. This is before you get to the States. So I'm in a world swirl of mind anyway and having conversation with people in different places, man. And they always got something going on. So when we go in any country, the walls is always speaking to you. Like, you could not pay attention and have your headphones on and be like all this in the airport, but I pay attention to the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And the walls got things like, are you bringing this in the country? Or, and when you sign, when people trying to check no, yeah, they ask you serious questions. Are you taking it? Have you visited a farm? Have you touched any livestock? Have you picked any fruit? Are you bringing any fruit in? These are serious questions. Then they got the government of each country that say if you bring certain things in, like Taiwan was like, you go into Taiwan, you got one seed of weed with you, they say penalty is death. So you got to know as a person of color, man, you traveling the world, you black, you go up in the spot, man, you got to understand, man, it ain't going to be like 1980s when the last black person that went somewhere in the world where a United States black person saved their ass. I think that dude Goodman and Reverend Jackson went over there and got him and brought him back. That shit ain't happening ever again, man. It ain't nobody going to come get your ass. Oh, I'm stuck in North Korea. And then you got people that don't know the world that might end up saying, well, your ass should have went anyway. But me, I've always been trying to, the world is ours, man. So I got that bold ass spirit to try to go to as many places on the planet as this lifetime could give. And if it's a privilege, what can I use this privilege to bestow on others to share it? You can't can't give everybody the dollar that you have, but you better give them something. And if you could spread knowledge, wisdom, and some understanding and overstanding and give positive well shots to people, do that. Because there's going to be a lot of shots taken and fired at people for just being who we are.
Well, we certainly appreciate that. And I love to travel too. Just recently, I've started, speaking. I spoke in Ireland. I was the only person of color giving a keynote on mental health, Chuck, in Ireland last year. I spoke in Amsterdam on mental health. And so I'm trying to take this thing around the world too, talking about wellness and mind, body, and soul and spirit. And travel is really a form of self-care for me. I was going to ask you, I only got like 2 more questions for you.
Only got 2 more questions? A woman who writes books? No.
Well, I mean, I know you're a busy man. I could talk to you all day. Don't get me started.
Yeah, I'm good.
But what do you do for self-care, Chuck? Like, what do you enjoy? Other than, I know you like to read. I know you like to write. Is it anything else that we don't know, that you do for self-care and wellness?
Well, I was watching Bill Withers. I think Bill Withers I wrote this down. Bill Withers says, I'm not anxious to tell anybody about myself. You just watch me. Like somebody at 60 on the stage like I be.
Yeah.
They be like, oh, geez, doing it. Well, I could outrace and run you and all that. Now, I'm not bragging about myself because any year or anything that's out there could get you. So I'm always on attack against things that's going to attack us naturally.
I feel you.
I'm not going to be the guy aging well. I mean, either you age or you die. But you got to kind of like attack environments. And a lot of times people think it's just intake. I'm going to eat good and all that. It's about a balance in what you feel good with.
That's right.
And then you got, and the older you get, you can't do things like what you did at 35, 40, 50. Every 10 years I go and I say, I could get away with that 10 years ago, but gotta kind of cut that back. So it's like you drive your body. You don't have nobody drive your body, so you know how to drive your car. It's like, and you got people in the passenger seat. You ever have anybody in the passenger seat tell you how to drive? You're like, hey, that's how you got to do with your body at least. You got to know what to put in it. Like, if you're driving your car and somebody tells you to go to that gas station that got water in the tanks, you be like, nah, thanks for the advice. But, so you have to be in tune with your environment. A lot of times people, because I don't do the visual thing, people just like, or people might see the other side of PE flavor and think that I'm like this. I said, number one, you don't know my personality because I don't know you.
That's right.
And I ain't gonna be on the screen all the time. Like, well, this is what I'm not gonna be on those screens. So, but that's my generation and how we thought and how I think about it. I'm gonna be on the screen for a purpose, and I'm gonna give you the public side that I give you. Long answer to your short question. I love long drives by my damn self.
Okay.
And that's where most of my song ideas are. So you take a long drive, and I drive anywhere. I've driven this country up, down, sideways. I'm a geographic nut. I'm a history buff. I don't really watch a lot of movies. I watch documentaries. Those are all my documentaries.
I was just going to ask you, give us a documentary that we could watch this week that you really thought, think might help us to, just learn some stuff while we quarantine.
That gives me another conversation that I don't want to give. But listen, one conversation is that everything ain't got to be HD. YouTube is an ocean to go in with a fishing pole. To go in and try to pick up something, and it might be scratchy, it might be grainy, but it don't mean it gotta be a documentary in HD in order for you to get clear on it.
That's fair. Yes.
To get clear on something means maybe a third eye, not the 2 eyes that you got.
That's right.
So sometimes you could go on YouTube and find something that's scratchy, it's an old whatever, and you just got to get past everything being here. So this whole, well, if you look good, you feel good. If you look good, you're all good. No, not true. There's a lot of exterior work that people are doing. The interior work got more to do just with your intake of foods, but your intake of thoughts.
Yes. Yes.
There's going to be more and more clinics for SOC Med rehab in the next 10, 15 years. So maybe you could start I told my daughter that, my daughter, my wonderful daughter, who actually was beefing with me about Instagram. She runs my Instagram.
Okay.
And she's this tremendous person.
Yes.
And
Shout
she
out to
got,
your daughter. What's her name?
yeah, Dominique.
Hi,
And,
Dominique.
you know, and we have these millennial crashes.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, you're being a digital curmudgeon. You know, she went, with the Clark, got a degree, got a master's at FAMU. So, she's got that thing all, so, but I told her when she graduated out of FAMU, got a master's, I said, you know what? Would be good, maybe we figure out how people can open up a chain of digital rehabs in the next 15, 20 years. And it was kind of like a half joke, but seriously, you got to get people to wean off this like alcohol.
That's facts.
That's facts, because people's lives, they don't have a lot of the basic teachings from the last century, because this is a different time and these are different people. So even if you got your clarity, everybody around you ain't. So 2020, listen, 2020 is supposed to be what? Clear vision? Right. I know the clearest is supposed to be 2010, but we've been there already, and it's 10 years ago. So it's 2020, right?
Right.
2020 in hindsight, 2020 in what? Clear vision. But there's going to be a lot of people this decade that's going to have cataracts and going to be seeing fuzzy. It started out with a bang.
That's right.
It's 3-card money. Anybody familiar with 3-card money out there on Instagram? It's 3-card money all decade long. What will appear to be this will appear to be that. What will appear to be that will appear to be this. And then you'll be surrounded by a whole bunch of debating people who are grabbing misinformation from everywhere, debating with each other beyond the fact or without the fact.
It's happening right before our eyes right now.
It's happening right now. It's happening at this very minute.
Yeah.
You don't know what it comes from. I'm like, yo, it started here, this started. But that happens when you have socialization anyway. People get in a swirl. The problem is, and one of the problems is that opinions only end up in a swirl. The fact is the thing that rises to the top. And sometimes the fact could be like a turd. And you won't be able to flush it. You notice now I'm sounding like a 60-year-old. I forgot all these things that my uncles, I got uncles that be like saying 2 words. And they'd be like, they might as well talk for a whole damn day, but you got it.
Yo, we could listen to you for like I don't know if you're looking at any of the comments.
That's why everybody said, Chuck, you should do a TV show. You do it. I'd rather be heard than not seen. I come from that time, and I want other people who they got their look on, they got their personality on at 35. This is your, this is their world, and they have to govern their world.
I ain't 35. I'm knocking on.
I know you are OG, Shanti. Come on, man, you talking. But I'm saying that people, look, 35, 40-year-olds, 25, 20-year-olds, they can no longer use youth as an excuse. It got to be like we always used to say. Yeah, I come from hip hop. And it's always, the party is bumping, but somebody got to be security at the door.
That's right.
the party ain't popping without security at the damn door. I don't care where it is. It ain't the damn barbecue. Even the family barbecue might need some security there. That's where it's going down. But this is, it's like I tell people, at the age I am, if I can't teach, I shouldn't open my mouth to speak. So if it's not a teachable moment, you ain't gonna see me. I mean, recently, like the whole thing with the flavor thing was actually attacking a situation I thought that was going out of hand, just with everybody flocking to online so much that hip hop got into this narrative. Is like only you want to hear about the bad points, and the only time you're gonna hear about hip hop is dead when somebody gets shot and killed. Like I really got ticked off with the Pop Smoke murder. Nobody heard of this young man. I did. We got Rap Station. But then all of a sudden, everybody hears him once he's shot and killed. And then all the news, the billboards, and, then the records start rising up the charts. And I look at older people, I'm like, you don't know a damn thing about this kid or his music. But you have to say you know him because he got shot and killed. Well, yeah, I don't know. So they waiting for hip hop to wash on their shores instead of really being a fan of it. And I said we could be more into our music. Oh yeah, well I didn't hear anything about Public Enemy, but Public Enemy has always been consistent.
Facts.
And if you hear anything about Public Enemy on a bad tip, it will be because it's on a bad tip, and that's when they found out that's the news that travels just like anything else. So
yeah,
they traveled that news, and I was trending for the first time. I was trending like a chicken sandwich.
wow.
That was the point where I wrote Food as a Machine Gun. When I would think I was somewhere overseas, and I heard that there was riots over the crispy, spicy chickens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, but you can't look down on it. You have to say, this is the society that they designed to react this way, and they designed it. And the next thing they're going to design, once they got you, then they're going to get you. So I'm not the conspiracy theorist to say they got us on this virus thing. There's always something somewhere in the world cooking in some labs, got out of control, governments beefing with each other. And also they call it what they call bread and circuses. Bread and circuses, they throw at the masses. And check this one out, since I'm a songwriter. All they do with the masses, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yep, the masses.
They move the M over.
Uh-huh.
See?
I got it.
So I'm not the conspiracy theory to make you feel bad. I make you just look at yourself. Like the great Bruce Lee said, I cannot teach you. I can only be of assistance to help you explore yourself. That's wellness in itself. Also, you have to be a realist. Everybody ain't going to be in the same classroom with the same attention span at the same time. There will be some people to leave the classroom. It's not the responsibility of me at 60 years old to talk to somebody 20 years old.
And that's for every generation.
Every generation got to look. If a 30-year-old say he can't teach nothing, I'm like, you can't say nothing to a 20-year-old. I even go to 15-year-olds, right? And this is the thing I can end on this point.
Okay.
I'm young. I said, yeah, but you young. You ain't younger than everybody. You ain't 4. You 15. So you challenge them. And you give them a case in point, right? You can bring up a party. Let's say somebody's 17 and they say they don't want to play those seniority. I say if you got siblings, automatically you playing seniority, especially if somebody 18, 19. Let's get a little posh. Let's talk about college student.
Okay.
They are freshmen.
Yeah.
Right? 18 years old. And they think they're young. Had their mother or somebody say, all right, if they got a little brother, take your 15-year-old younger brother or sister to that party with you. The first thing they're going to say is,
I ain't doing that.
I ain't trying to do that. Why? Because I'm 18, Ma. I earned my position. I mean, they got to go through what I went through. So already you playing seniority role. You playing elder right there. You divide the line between you and the 15-year-old. Ooh. I threw the facts on their lap. I said, so you could tell and teach somebody 15 and 16 because you playing your senior role. So when you hear somebody like, well, 30 years old and they try to play, well, I'm still young. I say, yeah, you young, but you need to ask somebody 14 if you young. Like, the whole thing, screen time. So somebody, they on Facebook for the first time after they told people, nah, the feds is behind Facebook. Now they on Facebook looking up their old girlfriends and stuff. Yo, yeah, she's divorced now, so I'm going to see if Shorty could get with me. So they up there getting their whole prim on, and that's got that whole community going on. Okay, it's funny and it's good, too. Okay, wow, you got Facebook friends. That's another thing I ain't on either. My brother runs Facebook. My daughter runs Instagram. I'm on Twitter. That's why I catch my heat. 280 characters, and I try not to be a character. I try to have some character and give wellness shots. So
that's right.
But all this is a thing. It's great to dance and play in the game. Just make sure the game don't be played on you. Put things in perspective. Build your offline world. Make sure, I mean, we have rappers by the name of M1 from Dead Prez, DJ Cavem from Colorado, big out to DJ Cavem, and also Supernova Sloan from New York City area. These dudes have been, and also Professor Griff, they've been talking about wellness forever.
Shout out to Griff.
In their music, right, in their music, and their words. The Food as a Machine Gun, like I said, based on this book, is Chuck D on attack, because that's what I do. I like to attack situations, and then those are the guys with the solutions. And right now, if they lock you down for a month, is your house a home, or is it going to be an oven? What I mean by oven, combustible, all kinds of things. Mind, body, soul, attitude. After a while, you know, pizzas and Netflix ain't going to work after 3 weeks.
Deep.
Small little brush fires of conversation turned into arguments that are bonfires.
Word up.
So, and also, you know, even cats, I used to, you know, the simple question, you know, the OGs would come up with this question. Yo, dog, for real, right? If these cats, if the feds, right, said slavery is back, yo, how would that roll with you? Cats is like, no, fuck that. Fuck that. Yeah. That was another generation, too. This generation, they just said, they came with another battle plan out of left field, said, everybody stay in the crib. And if you don't stay in the crib, it's going to be martial law. You can look that up. It ain't spelled like Marshall Mathers either. It ain't spelled like martial law either. and the citizens who are now netizens are complying.
Hey, can you put that book up again? A lot of people are asking.
Yeah, this is formerly known as Food.
Formerly known as Food.
As Food. And I gave her a blurb, well, and then she put out the book at the age, well, you can read it.
And maybe, is it on Amazon, you think we can get it?
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Okay,
it's how the industrial food system is changing our minds, bodies, and culture. There's a lot of food books, but this is attacking the industry. And the industry right now is on this full attack. Because now,
right,
food now, and look, I didn't wish for none of this. I wrote this was going about a systematic approach at this in January and December. I was writing this song.
Wow.
Who the hell knew that it would converge into this perfect ass storm? When now, after it's right now, and hear me close on this, it's the aftermath that is the problem. The fallout, that's the problem after the virus. How, with the common economy dipping down in all kinds of different ways, the agriculture world is affected. It's the fallout and the aftermath about this. And this was simply talking about the food industrial complex, which everybody now is going to be sucking like a thumb. Because humans are furnaces. You got to eat.
That's right.
I'll give you a case scenario, Shanti. Apartment in one of the major cities. Let's get urban, right? Apartment. Woman got 3 boys. Boys. 8, 11, 14. How often is she visiting a Publix on lockdown?
A lot. Boys that age can eat. They're eating machines at that age.
Eating machines. And then you got to get it kind of like bulk. Your refrigerator's already, look, terrorism ain't a person. Terrorism now could be in your refrigerator. And you got to feed your boys. Growing boys. I'm just dealing boys. You got 3 of them in the crib. That refrigerator, you know damn well. You're like, boy, why you keep opening that damn refrigerator for? They locked in for a month.
Yeah.
After a while, the toxins just from food, toxins from video games, toxins from Netflix or whatever they watch it, a month, and no going outside. And then you go outside, you see the militia telling you to go back inside. Your house, the maintenance right now, the remaining weeks until these governments, and who knows what happens with that.
Figure it out, yeah.
Is your house a home? It's the situation. Got the struggle to make it a home as opposed to an oven. So when they talked about sending people to the ovens, whoever thought it would come out of left field that the oven would be the place that you call your home?
Yeah. They're gonna shut us down in a minute and 40 seconds because you can only stay on IG Live for an hour.
Oh, that's what they tell us, right?
But it's gonna lock us out. But
figures.
I just want to say, first of all, you know, how everybody's spraying Lysol and disinfecting your countertops, brother. You have allowed us to disinfect our minds today, and
that's what I try to do. And people can catch me at Twitter They catch me at Twitter at Mr. Chuck D. If you catch an Instagram, my daughter runs it, and she is going to actually give me an earful. Dad, you need to do that, and I gotta listen to her. This is her world.
Follow my foundation at Silence the Shame, please. You can follow me at Shanti 404. Chuck, I hope that you and I, once we can, whatever new normal means, I want to do some other stuff with you around wellness. So
you'll just get me on the audio tip.
More stuff with us.
Yeah,
I would appreciate you. You know,
I'm here. I'm here to be of service.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Sean. Peace.